Thank you so much for your time, Mr. George. Perhaps let's just pick up on what the President has talked about there, the lack of maintenance of existing infrastructure and the appeal perhaps for municipalities in these grand projects, as he put it. As far as you understand, what is driving that thinking by officials in municipalities?
Thank you very much, Kathy, and good evening to all ENCA viewers. Today we are gathered in Durban for this week on what is known as the annual gathering of municipalities, the National Members Assembly of SALGA. We were quite pleased today to have the benefit of being addressed by the President of the Republic, His Excellency, President Cyril Ramaphosa, and we're quite excited about the candid manner in which he has outlined his vision of taking our country back to a development trajectory, and pointing out, quite correctly so, the importance of local government to be at the heart of ensuring that our people realize the ideals of the freedom that we have attained in 1994, and also placing local government to be at the center of translating those goals to be realized as achievements. So what we looked at today in terms of the President's directives was that the answers lie with us at local government. So he gave us a very elaborate outline of acknowledging positives that municipalities have said. But he then said, as part of the new dawn, it is also important that we have leaders in local government that are prepared and are committed to serve our people with integrity, and are also not serving their own interests, but they place their skills and energies at the disposal of serving our people. We took that message very positively. All municipalities in the country were there, including international delegates from the rest of the world whom we have convened as SALGA. And one of the key issues that our conference is focusing on in terms of this assembly is a renewed commitment to drive accountability and consequence management in municipalities. So in regard to the issue of maintenance, we're quite pleased as SALGA because we have made representation not only at the National Budget Forum where we sit with ministers of finance, but we have also indicated that to municipalities it's advisable that at least put aside 10% of your annual budget to renew and maintain existing infrastructure. And the President was quite clear that instead of driving new bridges, also put money aside to maintain the existing infrastructure because it's expensive to renew. So we're quite pleased with the candid manner in which the President has embraced progress so far, but also indicating that much more can still be done, especially on accountability and fighting fraud and malfeasance at municipalities.
One of the things that we did earlier on the show was to look back to the Auditor General's report for 2016 and 2017 and the irregular expenditure by municipalities. In terms of accountability, and I think really trying to get to the heart of what's driving that figure into the levels that it is right now, as SALGA, what are you looking at? What falls within that category where municipalities are spending money irregularly? What is the driving factor behind that?
What is important, Kathy, first is to acknowledge that National Treasury issues report every year. Those reports are commonly referred to as Section 71 reports. They are issued in terms of the Municipal Finance Management Act. And we have seen the report issued in June 2018 showing good progress on municipalities expending all their budgets that have been allocated, almost like close to 89% expenditure on their budgets. But we have seen on aggregate many of the district municipalities and municipalities with less capacity not completing the expenditure on all their budget. And that normally points out to weaknesses in capacity. So what is important is that when you look at the recent growth on irregular expenditure, it's largely informed by implementation of new accounting standards. Largely, it's normally referred to as MSCOA, Municipal Standard Chart of Accounts. And it requires quite rigorous measures to be implemented. And many of our municipalities with less capacity, they've really struggled to put systems in place. And we are engaging with Treasury, working with COCTA as SALGA, providing support teams across provinces to make sure that municipalities They develop the necessary skills. So SALGA runs workshops in provinces. SALGA trains CFOs. SALGA trains revenue managers to make sure that we are able to pilot the readiness to implement M-SCOA. So largely, some of the municipalities that have been found to have committed irregular expenditure are largely informed by taking money allocated for water and possibly spend it on roads. So it's not money stolen per se. It is money that was not approved for that vote, but it might have been used. Other municipalities, for instance, Kathy, in the Southern Cape, in Western Cape, they would have faced large breakout of fires. So you can't say in a given situation that you will stop fire because there was no significant budget available when lives are at stake. You will direct money either in water or in roads to fix the fire. That is a disaster and a clear and present danger. But what some of the municipalities have honestly been found to have done, AG will say, we acknowledge that you have spent the money appropriately, but you have not followed the law, so you should have gone back to council and asked for regularization of that expenditure. Hence, you would have seen the growth of irregular expenditure.
All right, let's leave it there.
So capacitating Municipal Public Accounts Committee by SALGA does that.
All right, let's leave it there for tonight. Thanks for coming into studio. Xolile George, who is the SALGA CEO.